Auggie Me, the Shingling chapter. How February made us money too. By the end of February, we had made $36. Mrs. Antanaby had been late to every single rehearsal. Every single one. It got so that she would actually come to rehearsal with crisp dollar bills already in her hands, ready to give us. She would literally show up, begin talking, hand us the money without even acknowledging it, and start the dance class. It was almost like the price of admission. What she paid to get through the door. So funny. Then at one point, halfway through the month, she herself suggested upping the amount of the penalties she would give us for being late from $1 to $5. This, she assured us, would definitely keep her from being late in the future. But of course, that didn't work either. Now, instead of coming to rehearsal prepared with crisp $1 bills in her hand, she would come with crisp $5 bills, which she simply dropped on top of our backpacks by the door without saying a word. The price of admission. Swish, swish, swish. God bless America. Even Zima said that now. How Zima Made a Discovery. Ascension Transcends by Melissa Krotz, NYT, Muse Tech, February 1978. Ascension, in its world premiere at the Nelly Regina Theater, is the stunning debut by choreographer Petra Echevarri, recent graduate at Juilliard and winner of the Princess Grace Award, a mesmerizing reinterpretation of the dance fads of the 60s as seen through the kodochromatic lens of the author's childhood in NYC's barrio. This piece is a riveting and joyful homage to the scratchy, catchy, and soon-to-be-lost tracks of the decade. Chock full of breathtaking leaps and innovative steps that belie Miss Echevarri's own training in the classical style, the work takes one particular dance, the shingling, and creates a visual narrative through which the rest of the work weaves. The reason I chose the shingling as the centerpiece of this dance, explains Echevarri, is because it's the only one of the dance fads of the time that actually evolved over the years to reflect the musical styles and genres of musicians and dancers interpreting it. There were so many types of shingling: Latin, soul, R&B, funk, psychedelic, and rock and roll. It's the one dance that intersects every genre, the common thread. Growing up in the 60s, music was everything to me and my friends, and I didn't have the money for dance lessons. American Bandstand was my dance teacher. Those dance fads of the era were my training. Echevarri didn't begin formal dance training until the age of 12, but once she did, there was no looking back. Once I got into performing arts, and then Juilliard, recalls Echevarri, I knew I could do it. I could defy the odds. None of my neighborhood friends did. The hood is a tough place to leave. When asked why she chose the shingling as the main theme of her dance, Echevarri grows wistful. A couple of years ago, about a month before graduating from Juilliard, I attended the funeral of a childhood friend, one of those girls who used to come to my house for bandstand. I hadn't seen her for years, but I'd heard she was in a bad way, had gotten in with the wrong crowd. Anyway, her mother saw me at the funeral and said her daughter had made a gift for me, a graduation present. I couldn't imagine what it was. Echevarri holds up a cassette tape. This girl had made me a tape of every shingling song from our childhood. Every single one. Chinatown by Justy Barretto, Shingling Shingling by Kako and his orchestra, Sugar Let's Shing-a-Ling by Shirley Ellis, I've Got Just the Thing by Lou Courtney, Shing-a-Ling Time Baby by the Liberty Bells, El Shing-a-Ling by the Latines, Shing-a-Ling by Arthur Conley, Shing-a-Ling by Audrey Winters, Nobody But Me by the Human Beings. An incredible song list. I don't even know how she recorded some of them. But when I heard these songs, I knew I was going to create a dance woven around them. 3 dancers in the piece, all recent graduates of the Juilliard themselves, bring a distinctive vocabulary to the montage, drawing viewers into an experience that is once a life-affirming and joyful, without any bubblegum sentimentality. This lack of artifice owes as much to the rousing arrangement of songs, which blend seamlessly together as it does Echevarri's poignant narrative. Modern dance at its best. Howie texted, Zima Chin, did you see the article that I emailed you? Charlotte Cody, OMG. Is that really Mrs. Antanaby? Zima Chin, crazy, right? Charlotte Cody, are you sure? Who is Petra Everard? It's her maiden name. That's her. Trust me. I was Googling Gordy Johnson tonight and got bored and started Googling Petra Antanaby. Summer Dawson. I just read the article. Unbelievable. That's the dance we're doing. Ascension. I know. Amazing. Charlotte Cody. She looks so young and pretty in that photo. Summer Dawson. Oh, that's so sweet, Zima. Zima Chin. What? Summer Dawson. That you were Googling Gordy Johnson. Zima. Yeah, well, now I'm curious too. I want to know what happened to him already. Charlotte Cody. I shouldn't say this, but my mom thinks that maybe he's... Summer Dawson. Oh no, my mom thinks so too. Zima Chin. Sorry, guys. I sort of think maybe I agree. Charlotte Cody. Rip Gordy Johnson? Summer Dawson. No. Charlotte Cody. I don't believe it. Summer Dawson. Me either. Zima Chin. Okay, forget it. I said anything. Summer Dawson. Said what? Charlotte Cody. Smiley faces. Zima Chin. On a completely unrelated note, do you guys want to sleep over at my house tomorrow night? Charlotte Cody. Yeah, let me ask my mom. BRB. Summer Dawson. Sounds fun? Just us? Zima Chin. Yeah, come at 6. Summer Dawson. Okay. Charlotte Cody. My mom says fine, so as long as your parents are home. Zima Chin. Natch. Charlotte Cody. My parental unit, who is at this very moment violating my personal space and reading my text over my shoulders, wants me to finish my homework. So I got to go. See you tomorrow. Good night. Nighty night. Zima. Till tomorrow. Can't wait. How we went to Zima Chin's house. It was the first time we went to Zima's house. Up until then, we'd always hung out at my house or Summer's apartment. Zima lived in one of those luxury high-rises on the other side of the park. It was a doorman building, very different from the apartments I was used to in the North River Heights. Most of those are brownstones, or small apartment buildings that are over 100 years old. Zima's apartment was ultra-modern. The elevator opened directly into the apartment. Hey, said Zima, waiting for us in the foyer. Hey, we said. How? Wow, this is beautiful, Summer said, looking around as she dropped her sleeping bag in the hallway. Should we take our shoes off? Sure, thanks, said Zima, taking our coats. I can't believe it's snowing again. I dropped my sleeping bag next to Summer's and pulled off my Uggs. A woman I'd never seen before came in from the living room. This is Louisa, said Zima. This is Summer, and that's Charlotte. Louisa's my babysitter. Hi, we both said. Louisa smiled at us. So nice to meet you, she said in halting English. And then she said something in rapid-fire Spanish to Zima, who answered by nodding and saying gracias. You speak Spanish? I said, astonished. We were following Zima over to the kitchen. Zima laughed. You didn't know? Zima's such a Spanish name. Do you want something to drink? I thought it was Chinese, I answered truthfully. Water's great. Me too, said Summer. My dad's Chinese, she explained, filling 2 glasses full of water from the refrigerator door. My mom's Spanish, from Madrid. That's where I was born. Really? I said. That's so cool. She set up the cups of water in front of us while Louisa brought us over a tray full of snacks. Muchas gracias, Summer said to Louisa. Muchas gracias, I repeated in my terrible American accent. You guys are so cute, said Zima, dropping a carrot stick into a little tub of hummus. So, did you grow up in Madrid? I asked. Besides dancing and horses and Les Mis, the one thing I love most in the world is traveling. Not that I'd ever done any traveling yet. So far, we'd only gone to the Bahamas once, Florida and Montreal, but my parents are always talking about taking us to Europe someday. And I plan on becoming a professional traveler after I'm done being a Broadway star. No, I didn't grow up there, answered Zima. I mean, I spent summers there, except for last summer when I did the ballet intensive here in the city. But I didn't grow up there. My parents both work for the UN, So I kind of grew up all over the place. She took a bite of the carrot stick. Crunch. Rome for 2 years. Then before that, we lived in Brussels. We lived in Dubai for a year when I was about 4. But I don't remember that at all. Whoa, said Summer. That's so cool, I said. Zima tapped on the glass she was drinking from with her carrot stick. It's okay, she said. But it can be kind of hard, too. Moving around, I'm always the new kid in school. Oh, yeah, Summer said sympathetically. I survived, Zima answered sarcastically. I'm not about to complain. She took another bite of her carrot stick. So do you know other languages? I asked. She held up 3.5 fingers as an answer, since her mouth was full. And then, after she swallowed, she elaborated. English, because I always went to American schools. Spanish, Italian, and a little bit of Madrid from my grandmother. That's so cool, I answered. You keep saying, that's so cool, Zima pointed out. That's so uncool, I answered, which made her laugh. Louisa came over to Zima and asked her something. Lisa wants to know what you guys would like for dinner, Zima translated. Summer and I looked at each other. Oh, anything is fine, said Summer politely to Louisa. Please don't go to any trouble. Louisa raised her eyebrows and smiled as Zima translated. Then she reached over and pinched Summer's cheek affectionately. Que, mucha rida, hermosa, she said, and then she looked at me. Usted si parece una monaquita? Zima laughed. She says you are very pretty, and Charlotte, you look like a little doll. I looked at Louisa, who was smiling and nodding. Aw, that's so nice. Then she walked away to start dinner for us. My parents will be home about 8, Zima said, waving for us to follow her. She showed us the rest of the apartment, which looked like something out of a magazine. Everything was white. The sofa, the rug, there was even a white ping-pong table in the living room. It made me a little nervous about being klutzy, which I had been known to be, and accidentally spill something. We made our way down the hall to Zima's room, which was probably the biggest bedroom I've ever seen. That wasn't a master bedroom. My bedroom, which I shared with Beatrice, was probably 1/4 the size of Zima's bedroom. Summer walked into the middle of the room and made a slow spin as she took it all in. Okay, this room is actually as big as my entire living room and kitchen combined, she said. Oh, wow, I said, walking over to the floor to ceiling windows. You can see the Empire State Building from here. This is like the most beautiful apartment I've ever seen, said Summer, sitting down in Zima's desk chair. Thanks, Zima said, nodding and looking around. She seemed a little embarrassed. Yeah, I mean, we've only been here since this summer, so it doesn't quite feel like home to me yet. But, she plopped down on the bed. Summer pulled the rolling chair up to the giant bulletin board on the back of Zima's desk, which was completely covered with tiny photos and pictures and quotes and sayings. Oh, look, a Mr. Brown precept, she said, pointing to a cutout of Mr. Brown's September precept. He's like my favorite teacher ever, answered Zima. Mine too, I said. What a cute picture of you and Savannah, said Summer. I went over to see what she was pointing at. In between the dozens of little pictures of people from Zima's life, most of whom we didn't recognize, were camera booth type photos of Zima and Savannah, plus Zima and Miles, Savannah and Henry, Ellie and Amos. When I saw Ellie's picture up there, I have to admit, it was kind of strange for me. Like I saw her in a different light. She really did have this whole new life. I have to get a picture of you two for my wall, Zima said. Oh, come on, said Summer, in her cute, disapproving fairy way as she pointed to a picture on the board. Zima! It took me a second to realize she hadn't said, oh, come on, in response to what she had just said. Oh, sorry, Zima, said, making a guilty face. At first, I didn't understand what the problem was, since it was just our homeroom class picture. Then I realized that over Augie's face was a tiny yellow post-it note with a drawing of a sad face. Zima pulled the post-it note off the picture. It was just Savannah and those guys fooling around, she said apologetically. That's almost as bad as Julian's mom photoshopping the picture, Summer said. It was from a long time ago. I forgot it was even there, said Zima. I was so used to the dimple in her left cheek by now that I never confused when she was serious with when she was joking anymore. I would say her expression